Folks, we are live at BlizzCon 2019. Diablo 4 has been revealed. Years we've spent waiting, speculating, theorizing, conspiracy theorizing, more than anything. And after a tumultuous couple of weeks of intense and enormous leaks, finally we are here today with a playable demo right in front of us, right now. And a very familiar sight. A few characters around a campfire. Oh man, oh man, oh man, the nostalgia. I have not played this demo. I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait to experience this for the first time with all you folks. I had to resist playing this demo throughout the entire day so that we can all experience this right now, live together, right now. And is stream still working right now? Can you hear us? I think you can hear us. All right, fantastic. So, right away, we got this screen here. The character select, it pays homage to Diablo 2. Two characters around a campfire. We don't need any text. We know exactly who all these people are. You got your barbarian archetype, your sword archetype, your druid. They're all back, all around this campfire. Ooh, chat. Shout out in chat. Who do we start with? We're gonna get to try all three classes. Who do we start with? Blood chat. We're gonna get to camp blood chat. That's in slow mode, I believe. Okay, I'm seeing Sork, I'm seeing Druid, Sork, Druid. Okay, we'll start with Druid. We've been waiting for a Druid in Diablo for a long time. We haven't played it for a very long time. We're gonna start with Druid. We'll get to play all of them though. We're in character customization. So, this is what they have for now, but they intend to have more options as well. I like the beard on this guy.
Wait,
this is the OP beard character. We're going
Jeopardy
with this.
time?
We're going to hit play right now.
More, there's nothing on YouTube.
Oh.
The internet's dumb.
It all
Such a
comes down
big
to this.
place for full of nothing.
Oh man, okay. Take it in, folks. Take it in. This is our first look into things.
I'm gonna stream a bit, but not long.
The dark aesthetic. Even
Are you gonna watch another like champion tournament?
More reminiscent of Diablo 2. Look at that. We got our good boys here standing around. They're coming. What is this big old bell? Big old bell. Okay. Trample. Hold on. First off, inventory menu. Oh, who's our character there? Oh, we're a big coach. Put that back on. Take this off. It only takes up one slot. Look at that. No more inventory catchments. Look at the tattoos, the runic markings. I love the direction they have taken with this druid. It does not feel like a wild druid. It feels more grounded in reality. Ancient Celtic. Braveheart. Look at that. The pants. Okay, thank God he's got the undies on. Wait, you want to see something new? Okay, he's got a loincloth. We're good. Enough to turn this stream to the rings and the savage mythical stab. Alright. Yes, this is the best BlizzCon ever. Is mic quality good? No shoulder slot. That's true. No shoulder slot. That's interesting. Good notice. No release date. The only thing we know is not soon, not even Blizzard soon. Little tier there at not even Blizzard soon. Level 20. Max level currently is 40. That is still in flux though. But as of right now, not just in the demo, but in general, it sounds like 40 is going to be the max level. That intro cinematic, oh my god, guys. It was beyond my wildest expectations. I've got a video coming up. I was actually working on this right before this. A video coming up on my impressions so far from the reveal trailer. I thought I would have the video up before this stream, so it's going to be a little bit odd seeing it come up after, but I don't know what I was expecting from D4, but that cinematic trailer blew me away. It was beyond my wildest expectations of how dark they went. I did not think Blizzard would go that dark. It was like a horror movie. It was amazing. Oh my god. I have zero
That's
doubts.
better.
Like aesthetically, the feel, the darkness, I have zero doubts. They have perfectly nailed this. Perfectly. Gameplay.
Here we
Oh,
go.
ads.
We'll find out. But at least the darkness, embrace the darkness, they're fully there. Fully there. Alright. Our skills here. So, you got different skill points. You can upgrade your skills. And then there's also talents. I'm not in love with the UI, but the UI is something that it's clean. It's clean. We do that. And familiar skill trees, I know people were flagging for skill trees. You've got skill trees coming back in the form of talents here. And you can upgrade different runes.
I might turn off this.
You already find a
I think that
skill
makes
tree.
sense.
Got SVR to my left over here. And maybe we'll find him in game. Let's see. Oh, that feels so good. The instant transformation into the shape-shifting form.
Wanting to get to the
It's so
like
smooth
actual
and
deadly.
instantly into that werewolf form. And look how dark and menacing that looks. Our good boys are doing their work. Okay,
That
so
would be
that's
nice.
Shred is a shape-shifting power. Pulverize is also, and we become a bear. Unleash your inner bear. All right. So we have a resource system here. This is a generator, and this is a spender. Look at that. All right. We got a wolf attack. Wolves. Passive is summons. Active is to direct them. Okay, so that's similar to the necromancer ability, it seems like. So we can actively direct them to a specific target.
Okay.
That's weird.
Okay.
Old chieftains policing? No, okay. There is not going to be offline single player. It's going to be an online experience. They're leaning into certain MMO elements. There's going to be 5 major overworld areas that are going to be 10 to 20 times larger than the largest areas in D3. And there will be town hubs to meet and trade. There's going to be trading, there's going to be PvP. And open world boss events. Let's go through here. The drums are picking up. So there's so much noise going around, I don't quite hear all the audio. But, oh, well, okay. I'm guessing drop rates are a little overtuned for the demo. The Riding Band. So sets will be in the game, but they really want legendaries to be as powerful or more powerful than sets. They don't want the endgame itemization to be sets. They really want to allow for more variety, more customization. Hit effect. Your attacks have up to a 9% chance to spawn a Hydra that will aid you in combat. Well, let's get rid of our malicious ring here and see what Hydras we can get. Thank you. All right, we're gonna lower game volume a little bit. Increase our volume attack. All right. Let me know if the game is too soft now. Legendaries in the demo are scripted for each character. Cool. Those falling debris. Alright. And then our 1 is a trample. Okay. So it's cooldowns plus resource costs. Instead of with a boulder toss.
I hope they know it. Build it the cooldowns.
Nice. Nice.
Sucks.
The blood, the viscera.
Don't really like
The game
that.
sound is still too loud? A little bit too loud? Okay, we can lower it a bit more. Lower that a bit more. Okay, there we go. There we go. And then our Cataclysm. Oh boy. We're summoning the forces of nature. They really wanted the magical side of the druid to be an elemental druid. Not an elemental druid. They wanted to differentiate it from the elementalist sorcerer. So it's more earth magic. Summoning storms and lightning, not so much the fire and brimstone,
Damn it, where?
as we saw in D2. And I like that, because I found in D2,
Okay.
the druid's magic was a little bit redundant with the Sorks with regards to, well, oh man. So this to me feels like the true successor, the true Diablo 3. Look at that.
The truth.
Look at that. Oh yeah,
Makes sense, I
survived
guess.
this BlizzCon. This was a tremendous BlizzCon. Best BlizzCon ever. Best BlizzCon ever. Oh yeah. Let's open the map. Okay, so we were in a dungeon right there. But now that we're in the open world, we're gonna see how big take in this desolate, it's a medieval apocalyptic wasteland. The world has gone to hell. Tab to open the whoa, look at that. Look at that. Wow. So it's no secret that I'm not a fan of MMOs. And I was a little the idea of running into other people randomly out in the open world wasn't an idea that excited me. However, it's going to come down to implementation. So I'm open to being sold on the idea because there's so much else that they're doing that I like. So the weather effects are dynamic. There's a day-night cycle. Apparently the druid has the power to alter the weather. Spacebar to evade, yes. So every character has this sort of dash forward ability. There will be a video later today, yes. So, Loch Wraith. I love that they've leaned into the Norse, sorry, not the Norse, the Celtic mythos.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Awesome. Okay. Can I use this as, yeah, that works as a speeder-upper.
That is really good.
So they never said anything about, they never used the term MMO. They never once said MMO at all, but we're sort of gleaning that they're, well, okay, we don't know if it's MMO. We don't know how massive the scope of the multiplayer open world will be. There's no game sound at all, so we need, okay, so a little louder.
Oh, come on.
Dodge wall
I was
casting,
teleporting.
okay. Kind of like, yeah, no hint at a release date. All they said was not even Blizzard soon. All right, let's go dig into it. Oh, who dis? That's not him. Look, so these are other people. That guy's name is Deckard Cain. What? Hi. Hello. Is it saying time?
Okay. What do we have? Oh,
Alright, let's go.
seems about par.
Heed the call of the deep. Doesn't this look like a D3 rehash? In what way? I mean, ARPGs look similar. I don't see how
They
this
do
looks
look
like
similar.
D3.
And it doesn't look like D3.
I don't think they said anything about a beta date either. Oh, some taps right there. Have we learned how to mount yet? No. Okay.
Oh yeah,
D2
mounts.
remastered. But honestly, like, D4 is paying such homage to D2. Alright, let's follow these guys.
That I agree with too.
Is this some kind of... Okay, it's a zone where we can do things. What does not even Blizzard soon mean? So, Blizzard has a meme of soon TM, which means not soon. So now they're saying not even Blizzard soon means they're not even going to pretend to say soon. So don't get Event is nearby.
I'm just near. Wait. Where is he again on that?
Is this the
Oh,
event?
that one. The bell?
Fight the world boss. Okay, hold on. Where's the world boss?
Oh, that's the world.
Okay,
Okay.
it's here. He's spawning. He a big boy.
Chara?
Oh, look at this. He's.
Oh no, that's the bell
Wait,
thing.
is anyone
Oh, sorry,
gonna
it's the first
help us?
time.
We can handle it on our own. We're good. We can clearly solo the world boss. No wait, that can't be him. That can't possibly be him.
No, the world
Oh, we
boss
gotta
is
destroy
Jeff.
the bell. For whom the bell tolls.
Metallica reference.
Okay, bell boy down. So this is just like some random world event that we've run into, it seems. Oh, we have a limited number of potions. Look at that. Alright. These guys are a little tougher. Just a tad. We're picking up health potions. Okay, so it seems similar, a little bit like D2 in that sense, except you don't have to manage the inventory slots of the belt. Okay, so we completed the event, so we were able to solo that. Now we know that there's going to be bosses, open world bosses that are not soloable. Things will get difficult. East and South on Quinn's stream had a goblin.
Not expecting anything and then you die.
Alright, let's just quickly check. We got any item upgrades here? Nope. Yes. Take that. Take that.
Wait, is my mic working? Yeah, it is.
Yes. I'm surprised.
I hope the sound is okay.
So when they had the Diablo Immortal demo, like D4 is feels further along than Diablo Immortal was last year. They didn't have items to show.
You know, probably true.
Is it confirmed the world bosses are not soloable? They said that there would at least be some content that's going to be so super difficult. I know that there's some boss in the demo that they even suggested that you're just going to die. Like, doesn't matter how many people you are, you're going to die. They want to have difficult content.
10% critical, 10%.
Are there more stats than plus attack and plus defense in the game? Good question. So there's going to be a bunch more panels tomorrow. We haven't learned a lot of granular
It
information.
didn't say a whole bunch of those panels.
A lot of information. A lot of panels.
And
So,
confirm.
trying to bring up what different keys do we have right? Oh, what is this? A town portal? Okay, so T is still town portal. I'm hitting all the, okay. O is a social panel.
Yeah, that's it in D3 too.
Map and journal. 5 minutes remaining. Okay. We're gonna get to restart on a different character. It's all good. F, K. We're up to K. L is that. Z does nothing. X, C, V, B, N, M. Okay, so there's nothing like a character stat menu to see the attributes. Find the Drowning King level 2. Okay, can we finish this in time? Chieftain. Eden.
We should find another way.
I missed a chest. We'll get on our next playthrough.
There is no other way.
There's no other way. Uh-oh. Oh, that's what happened there. Look, what is it? What? No kidding. And then we can climb back up. That's cute. That's cute. So there's verticality to the world. That's really, it's a little thing, right? But it makes when you the map. Okay. Okay. How big is the map? Massive.
Look who it is. Here we go.
There's supposed to be 5 open world areas. Maybe I don't know if this is just one of them. There's 5 open world areas. Kejistan is going to be one. Skosglen, or however it's pronounced, is another. I think we're in Skosglen right now. Yeah, Cain Adar. I love how they leaned into the whole Celtic mythos and the Celtic names. It's just that, oh, I just love it. The whole like Braveheart sort of spooky, dark druid vibe, not the like high fantasy WoW kind of druid. In that case, like I feel they've executed on the druid even better than D2. I know it's like sacrilege. But honestly, man, this everything we've seen from the opening cinematic, you guys see that? It's like a horror movie. It's amazing. It starts off like you're a bunch of like you're like a D&D party of just some random
would suggest
jerk butt grave robbers, tomb raiders.
Transmog, oh my.
And you just get slaughtered. They are not afraid to go dark with the storylines. Lock Wraith. 2 minutes left on this character. Let's
get to the
create a path on the map by right-clicking. Wait, what? Oh, cool. Hold on, let's take a look at that again. We right-click.
GPS
that's
confirmed.
That's cute. Oh, and it appears. That's a nice feature. Yes, I like it. It's like Google Maps built in. Oh, that is a great feature.
Google Maps.
Recalculating. What was something just
Knuckle
appeared there and then
maps.
disappeared? In 500 yards, turn right. Recalculating, you dumbass. All right.
Recalculating.
What do we got going
Not
on here?
that
We got
way.
a time of
Turn
1
around.
minute.
Time to die.
Look at the vibe
Time
of
to turn
this.
around. Look at
Blood
you
Clan Shaman.
Why are you walking this way?
Corrupted
That's certainly
Shrine. Set the PC clock back to extend the time.
No, I have
So, here's the thing,
the
like,
dev interview running,
The
and he
latest
was
areas added to
memeing
Diablo
on the
3
whole like
looked similar
setting a
to
checkpoint
this.
in
They
Diablo
were
4.
getting
Oh.
He's like, turn right.
But
No,
they were
turn
still
around.
kind of with the more
In
PvP
500
visuals.
meters.
This is grittier. And I think that's what people really love about it. It's even grittier. No overlay map. Not that I can see. It's that little corner map. We got
There
30
was no
seconds to
overlay
go.
map,
Can we
I saw it.
DPS this down in 30 seconds? I am
31
skeptical.
seconds.
Potion for rune crit. Oh, good call. Yes, I have to remember to use my potion offensively for the enhanced critical.
Don't make it take 1 millisecond
15
longer
seconds
until
round to
you
get
get
it.
more difficult.
So far I prefer the druid to the sork. Only it could just be that the druid felt stronger. Lightbane the hated. No.
Also, Druid on release? I think
We
so.
got 4 seconds. Oh, we got him. We got him. All right, we did it. Corrupted Shrine event completed. Thank you for playing. The font as well really has that vibe to it, right?
I don't think it's going to be a final font. It was like that.
We get to talk to a dev on this.
D3
I'm
did it
definitely
too.
open to it. We'll see what happens. See what happens. Any word
They
on
had
the
a
fate of the D3
much
Nephilim?
different font.
No word on that so far. We know it takes place decades later. The gates of heaven are
Decades,
closed.
20 years.
Basically, after heaven got wrecked,
That's
the
decades.
angels were like, screw you guys, we're going home. No word on Tyrael or anything like that. Yeah.
I mean, really.
So, it's Barbarian time. Are we going to play Red Sonja? Oh,
I
they got
bet they're
more
still
customization
deciding.
options here. So, are we going to be Red Sonja? Are we going to be
How many decades?
this feller?
This feller.
Now, in the lore, the Barbarian and the Druid are
Oh,
actually
Lord.
tied. I believe they're both the children of Bolcathos. Way back in the day, Barbarians and Druids were one
I
tribe.
remember something about that.
But they sort of split up as some took a more martial approach, some took a more one with nature approach. I love that you can see they are thematically linked, right? The Celtic knots, those tribal tattoos. You can see a nippy. You can see a bit of a nippy. All right, let's go with a little more. What do we say? Red Sonja? Let's go Red Sonja. All right. Reminds me of Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice. Yes, exactly. That aesthetic. That's the Celtic vibe, right? Okay, is this Shout? Rallying Cry. Bellow or Rallying Cry. Granting all allies unstoppable. Increased move speed. Reduced damage taken. Cool.
Shit, I think it's at like 50.
Huge in the StarCraft.
Oh, no. There we go.
Nice to meet you, David. Awesome.
I see your videos a lot on YouTube, which is very cool.
I
Fantastic.
see his videos a lot too.
The one, the only David Kim, folks. If you follow my videos on my streams, you know I've spoken a lot about him and how he updated his LinkedIn a few years ago to state that he moved over to Team 3. And you can finally talk about that now, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So the speculation was it was going to be for PvP type balancing because you didn't play as a pro player because you couldn't for the conflict of interest, but you were
Yeah.
playing on a professional level. You played StarCraft 2 on a professional level. You were huge in the StarCraft scene, a major balancing guy.
I hope they do
You were
D4
a
right.
hero
I don't
there.
mind if they take their time. Yeah, I agree.
Not really, but I did my best.
I
You did
agree.
great.
Yeah, thanks.
And so, hearing that you were coming to D3.
Like, especially with
I
the
was like, oh,
size of the
man,
world,
okay.
I hope they
Either
Diablo
just
4.
don't F it up.
sorry, yes,
Yeah.
Diablo
Yeah.
4. Either you want to do something completely different, or
Yeah.
you came to fix PvP in Diablo because they tried to do it in D3 and they couldn't get it.
I've seen this
to
video,
a state where they were happy with
but
it. So now that you're able to talk about things, what?
What are your butts?
What
it's always
what's the story?
fun to watch it.
So around the
kind of
time
like
when I
without
was
someone else
finishing up
commentating on
my responsibilities on the StarCraft 2 team, I looked at my options.
Also,
and Diablo
typical
4
like
sounded so
response.
exciting.
Oh, you know,
So I
I do
moved
my
over.
best.
So I'm the lead systems designer on the team. So I work. Me and
I
my
just
team
hope
works on
there's a lot
things
of
like
like
class design,
in-game stuff
items,
that only
progression
a
systems, PvP, like
portion
you
of
said,
people
things
can
along those
access,
lines.
but that the overall game
Says
is
not to
easy to like pick up.
guest. It says
I
not
guess
to
is
but,
really
I had noticed this before that
what I'm
one of the
hoping
mics is
for.
really loud. Oh man.
Oh, mine is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's.
You don't want to get to a point and be like,
it says not to adjust.
okay,
Should
that
we
was
adjust it?
easy, and then
Up to you. It's your stream.
have it turn into this,
There's like labels that say don't adjust. Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know how to individually.
where like
Should
the
I,
only
is
difference is
it
time
down?
investment.
Oh yeah, maybe as a hack. Yeah, just try that.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Sorry about that.
You want like
Awesome. So.
Yeah.
you know something you
the,
can
lead systems designer. You saw the opportunity.
at least
How's it been? How's
make
been the
tough decisions
transition?
around,
Because they're two very different genres. of
especially
games.
with
Yeah, yeah.
rares.
So I thought it would be much harder than I expected.
Because a big question I
but
have
I
is
think
like,
a lot
how
of
are
the
the
game
low
design
level
philosophies
things going to be
kind
useful?
of transcend genres. Plus, there's a lot of great people that I can learn
Because
from.
that makes a difference.
And also, I did interview for the team. I applied, got the
In
job.
D3, they're
so
not
that gave me a
useful
little
at
more
all.
confidence
It's
too.
just
So I think that's
crafting
just how to.
material.
So many Blizzard
But
teams
you
work
can
this way.
use,
Like if you want to switch teams, you
rares
actually go
as,
through the
like,
interview
filler,
process, get
or
approved,
even, like,
and then you can
in-game
join the team,
viable
right? So that also gave me
things.
some confidence. And I've been here for a few years now.
In the
so
right circumstances.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. What are you most
He was
excited
just introducing
about
himself
in Diablo
there.
4?
So for me,
Most excited about.
I am the most excited about adding more replayability to seasons. So for example, on the
Which is
item
good.
side, we want to make sure that legendary
Can't
items
just
are
be
on
through
equal
items.
or greater power
That's
level
silly.
compared to set items in Diablo 4. That way you can customize every single slot. And also I think we can do more. For example, in a given season, what if we make some subset of legendary items really stand out over others, right? And also introduce brand new legendary items into the game. So this way, every season you have brand new builds to explore and brand new combinations to kind of figure out like which ones
is
are the strongest
fine.
possible combinations, right?
Awesome.
Oh, they want to talk about rune words, I guess.
Okay.
Parts. Oh
What can you tell us
god,
about
they're so
rune words?
Oh, yeah.
basic right now in the
So
demo.
there are two types of runes in Diablo 4, condition runes and effect runes.
I think it's
um,
really shallow.
So you can take any condition rune and combine it with any effect rune to form a rune word, right? So have you seen the rune word in one of the dungeons yet?
Yeah.
But I mean,
we
once
could
that comes out, I will be
on
playing it.
potion effect,
100%.
then the critical
Yeah, yeah.
applies. Yeah.
Yeah, so for example, say you don't want
I would think
the
that
trigger
the
to
release
happen
version
on
is going to be
potion
like
use, right?
nothing.
What if you want it to
like what
happen
is being
on
played
every
right now.
time you stun something because you're going for a stun build? You can change out that
Happened with
condition rune and
D3,
have that
and
exact same
will
effect
certainly
happen
happen with
on that
D4.
condition, right? And if you don't like that effect,
Sweet
if you
spots
want,
here.
say, like, I
Yes.
want life leech after I stun something, then I could do that too, right? So you have that full customization, so it's pretty exciting.
What's the biggest chain of runes that you have in mind? Is it going to be like full
It'd be
6 like
six.
in D2, or is it going to be limited to 2, 3?
Right now we're
Six.
thinking of the two. We haven't
Six.
added progression to it yet, but that's also something
Much
that we're discussing
progression.
right now.
Awesome. Now, with regards to atomization, I know that some of the legendaries will be altering the way some skills could operate.
Yeah.
Are we going to see like massive multipliers, like this legendary makes this skill
I know
do
the answer to that
500%
is
more
no.
damage?
No, the plan, the reason why I think that happened was because the Diablo 3 team didn't want to do nerfs to items
Right.
because for various reasons.
Thank
But
God.
where we're at right now is we do want to do the nerfs, but strategically so that it doesn't mess with the builds. So the plus side of being able to do nerfs is we can make sure that such crazy bonuses don't happen, right? Which I think
Yes,
is a good
they
thing
will
because
have
it's going to make
control.
more builds much more viable.
Awesome. I think a lot of people are happy to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to talk a bit about dungeon keys?
Oh, yeah. How'd you hear about it already?
God, where was it? It was either at a panel or the interview, dev interview.
Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, yeah.
So it's a system. It's inspired by the Greater Rift key system. There's dungeons in the world. You can find keys, and that
Because
will
if it doesn't
upgrade and
infinitely
modify
scale, then
these
there's
dungeons into higher difficulty.
not
levels.
really
You can stack different things
necessarily
that
a
make it more
reason
difficult.
to
Yeah.
look
Is there
for
anything you want
only
to
the
expand upon
highest.
in regards to that?
Yeah, so
DPS
there
thing.
are the difficulty levels, kind of like Griff levels
Especially
on
with
the
small
keys
margins.
themselves. There are dungeon affixes that make the dungeon more difficult and different.
It's going to
But I think
exist.
what's cool about dungeon keys compared to Greater Rifts is you can see some of
It
the
would be
things on
nice
it,
if
right?
they had
you
class
can know
abilities that
like
combo
what
off
exact
each other.
affix there is.
I
And
think there
because it
is a
says the
combo
dungeon,
system.
the specific dungeon that you're going to, you can know the
From what I
monsters that
know, there's
usually
also
show up
like
in those
dismount
dungeons, right? So
abilities.
because of these things, you can pre-plan and strategize
So
a little
you can
bit.
be
So
riding
you can
your
change out,
mount
say, like,
and then have an ability
it's
that
like
you
a
cast as you
dungeon
jump off
where
of it.
mobility is preferred. Maybe I can switch out one of my abilities.
But
or
I
teleport,
believe he does
and I
talk
can
about
kind
combo
of think
stuff.
more before I go in. So that added strategic depth, I think, is something that's very cool.
Right, because you're going to be able to level up your skills individually.
Mhm.
There's going to be, as you level, you gain
Yeah.
skill points, but you also find skill tomes in the world.
Yeah.
And then so you're able to swap between these. Okay.
Oh, so these are permanent choices.
Permanent choices.
Yeah, and then you'll get one or more skill
Permanent.
points when you level up. And like you said,
Yeah.
you can get skill
No
point tomes.
respect.
And then you can
Bad.
pick your choices that way.
Okay.
And then there's the talents.
Yes.
These you can reset and redo.
I think they
as you
stole
see
that
fit.
from Lost Ark.
And then every class's talent tree is very different. Have you had a chance to take a look at?
And
Oh,
yes,
we
they are
didn't-
different,
no,
but they're
we
really
didn't,
I
shallow
see.
with them.
Yeah, we didn't dig into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I
Which
think that
is
would be something
whatever.
that is interesting to look into in your stream because,
Fantastic.
like in tomorrow's panel, for example, we're not going to be able to go over every single node or anything like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So like
And
this
they
one is
definitely don't.
2 trees, and then at the end you have one of 4 choices. These are kind of the stronger talents in the talent tree, right? But if you look at the sorceress one, it's completely different. It starts with one elemental kind of node, and it branches off into
As
3,
long as
and she
those
has
things
a one
can
of
be
6.
built
choices,
in
right?
different ways,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
then
you specialize
I
in
think that's good.
one of the 3 elements.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
And then for the druid,
But I
it
don't
looks
want it
kind
to
of
be
like this right
like,
now,
oh,
but
you
what we're
just go down
exploring
this
is,
side and win.
hybrid nodes. So you can imagine like going down one of the sides, and you can transfer over to the other side, which makes it very powerful for the druid, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
for
they're
the
all
dru-
very different.
For
Yeah.
the druid, is it like one branch is shapeshifting and one is more of the
Nature magic.
Which means,
Yeah.
I guess,
So earth and storm magic. Yeah.
yeah, Lost Ark combo. Yeah, okay.
I see people asking
Yeah,
about
so I guess that
hardcore.
means,
Oh yeah. Of
especially
course
with the
we're gonna have
elemental
hardcore in
nodes,
Diablo
they would
4.
have to be
Yeah, it's
more
like a-
Operate as
utility
always
related
operated.
and not
Yeah, yeah.
elemental
Yeah.
damage.
So when you die, you'll die
So
forever.
if you wanted to go
I
lightning,
personally don't
you
understand.
could still have the same.
But yeah, because like
Sort of
I don't
combination,
want to lose all my progress
or
over
switch
the
it up.
past 2 years or whatever. But we know that there are
Based on
so
what
many people,
works
and it
better.
wouldn't be a Diablo game without hardcore. So yeah.
That's fair. Do you want to talk a bit more about the? Actually, I should. Yeah, I think we want to get you a bit more.
Oh, I see.
I just noticed. Yeah, sorry about
Oh,
that. All right.
I was waiting.
So the PvP system.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit
PvP
more about
system.
how that's going to work? Is it going to be similar to D2 where you can just hostile and then
Go and you
kill
gank
people?
people.
So there will be specific areas of the world where you can do that. So you can just go hostile and kill people.
Which
Maybe
is
there's
fine.
some objectives that PvE players would go there to do and things like that. So that's where we're at with the world PvP. And we are also exploring
how
some
much
PvP
those areas
modes
are
that could be fun for
accessed.
Diablo 4. It's going decently
That's
well,
different.
but we haven't found something that we really love. So we'll have more info to share on that in the future.
Okay, so something like, so for instance in D3, you know, they were making the PvP team-based,
Oh
like
god,
team
the-
deathmatch sort of stuff. Is that the kind of
The team
functional
readiness.
idea
I
we're
remember that
looking at?
demo.
So what we're looking at is
That
modes,
face.
PvP modes that are more mixed PvP and PvE.
Ah.
Because we
Mixed
feel that
PvP.
Diablo, at the core of it, the most fun thing is
yes,
killing
they
like mobs
are.
and monsters, right?
Yes.
And getting more powerful.
But what they're
So
taking
in a
out is
PvP
the
match, we
respec.
want to kind of capture that too,
You can't
and have you kill
change
players
them.
too. Yeah.
Awesome.
Which means if you
I know some ideas were
want
like
to do something different, then
two
you have
different
to.
teams racing
other
through
than-
2 different greater rifts, and like
Yeah.
whoever can, you know, beat the other. That's sort of PvE.
Oh, I see.
type of
Yes, it
scenario.
is. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
But then you
something
can
like that,
also
right?
kill that other team.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is an esports angle potentially on the table?
Not for us, but you never know what the players will do with the game once it's out, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is the rune that
Oh,
we were
yeah.
talking about. The
Yeah.
runes.
Yeah,
It's a
I
simple
really hope
rune
they
work,
take
but,
care of that system.
once we add like progression to it too, it's gonna be much more, customizable, I think.
Yeah, as far as I know,
And-
with
and
the
the
skill
panel tomorrow,
tree,
we're gonna be showing off
you
some
can't
more
change
runes,
it. The choices
so, yeah,
stick.
Be sure to check that out, right?
Is there a like a character stat window?
Which
that we're using,
means
like
you'd
level
have to make a new
stat,
character, which
dexterity?
means
Oh.
you could like
For item
specialize
stats and
a
items,
cold sorceress, but it would
click
take
on
up
the
another
details.
character slot
probably not. Okay, it's fine. If you
rather
mouse
than
over
just
one of the
changing
items,
your.
Yeah.
it has like attack and defense and an affix on it, right?
Uh-huh.
So what we're trying to do is attack generally means damage. defense generally means damage reduction.
Also, I hope they
We
expand on
want to
that because
simplify some
attack
of the math
and
choices
defense is
into
just
these
silly.
stats and keep only the playstyle choices and add to the playstyle choices, right? So what I mean by that is
That's
like,
just
say
so
if you have a
casual.
choice between two items, one says I deal 100 damage plus 100 damage, and then the other one says plus 10% damage. I don't really know which one actually does more damage unless I work out the math problem, right? So we
Sure,
kind
but
of
that's a very
those
basic
to
example.
attack, but we have more damaging affixes as well. So for example, we have like an affix that says more damage against faraway enemies or something, right?
Okay.
Or we have plus to talent nodes
Yeah,
as
and
affixes, which gives you a lot more
D3
damage
has them.
to your choice. And that second
Sort
one is
of.
very cool because if you look at the talent tree, say
Okay,
you went down the
leveling
left
up the game
talent
will
all
make
the
a big
way,
difference.
you don't
Yeah,
have a lot
it
of
will.
points to spend on the other side remaining,
Right.
right? But you can grab like one of the tier 4 talents through items, which is very cool, right? And we're also exploring plus to skill points as affixes too. So we want to add
I hope so.
as many playstyle choice affixes as possible and make sure that those are not math choices as much as we can.
Awesome. All right.
There should still be some math. Man, it's
Oh,
I'm
that's
playing D3, but the video is D4, and it really looks
So-
honestly different.
You played D2 back in the day?
Yeah, of course.
Did you have a favorite class?
I think.
I mean, there's
Barbarian
only
was my
so
favorite,
much you can
like
do
whirlwinding nonstop forever.
with the
What was
graphics
yours?
engine.
Oh
Can I
man.
miss a
So
comment?
my first favorite was the Necro.
You
Just
couldn't really say how long the game.
getting to play
Yes,
he's
they
not
they
a
don't
bad
have
guy, but he's
a.
like a dark hero.
Yeah.
Getting to play
level
that
cap
guy
yet.
was really cool. That was my first experience. I got through normal as a Skelemancer,
And
then
it's really
almost
not
all-
like
as soon
D3.
as I got the nightmare,
The
just all my
the models
Skeletons
are
died.
actually high
I had the exact
res.
same experience too. Yeah. So and
Not
then
like
there was
these
no
where
resetting
a
of
lot
the
of
points or
things
anything
are
like that. So we had to
wasted.
start over, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I
the
mean?
exact same thing. Yeah. In,
Fine.
I think it was Act 3 of Nightmare, right?
Especially the
Yeah.
details on the
I
back
remember
system.
that too. Yeah.
And then my first successful
Weapons
character
are
was a
very
druid,
like pixelated. The
shapeshifter,
textures
Oh,
aren't
interesting.
great.
werewolf, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then my most successful character was a Hammerden.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So we know there's gonna be 5 classes on launch. Is that definitely?
Yes, there
I
will
know
be
you can't
5.
speak
Yes.
to what the other 2 classes will be.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, they don't
Is
know
there
what the other
plans
2
to
classes
perhaps
are.
introduce more down the line?
Yeah,
So,
of course, through
if you have any
expansions,
ideas, I
we'll
would say
have
tell
new
them.
classes.
And when we're talking about expansions, are we talking about the sort of typical Blizzard expansion we normally
Yes, it
see,
is typical
or maybe
expansions.
smaller scale things on a quicker turnaround?
Yes, the current plan is to go with the base game with the expansion model, like we've seen in the past with Diablo games.
Yes, but how many expansions?
I don't know if you're able to talk to
Because the last 2
monetization,
Diablo
is that
games
the
have only got 1.
monetization in mind?
Oh, if you are trying
For
to
various
ask about
reasons.
are we gonna sell power in the game, then the answer is no.
Okay.
Yeah.
But potentially cosmetic
Also, the
Potentially,
microtransaction thing is
and the dash
suspicious.
space for character slots.
Yeah, like
Yeah, this part.
we want to try to give players enough so that you don't like need more, especially the first few months or more of the game. But you never know what's gonna happen in the future, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about crafting? We've heard that they want to make crafting.
And
you guys want to make crafting
if you're still
bigger
here, I can show you the
Yeah.
I've heard
kind
someone
of,
mention,
like,
I think crafting components.
texture thing I was mentioning
Is there anything
before.
more you can tell us?
Yeah, so for crafting, it's still a work in progress, but what I can tell you is the 2 goals that we have. First is we want to make sure that crafting, especially the gathering component, is
good.
fully integrated to the open world of Sanctuary. And the second is we want to make sure that if you go out of your way to collect all these recipes,
Yeah, like here, so
materials, things
the-
like that, and spend your time to
You can
craft
see
something,
there's a
that
really
it's worth your
obvious
while.
origin
But
to the
outside of
beans.
that, yeah, we're still working on it.
And some of this is just like
Have you seen it yet?
a little
Make sure upheaval, fire.
right here.
Oh, look at
So
that.
it sounds like they already have ideas. Yes.
So max level I hear is 40.
Before they
That-
spring
that
their
could
trap.
potentially change.
Oh,
So
God.
is it that you get to 40 and then there's like Paragon levels, like?
Who
or,
knows, dude? Who knows?
Yeah, we do want to have an endgame progression system. Our main goal for that is we want to make sure that players pick meaningful choices when they're trying to form a build, and when they're trying to form a completely different build.
Yeah,
you
that's
can
why
change
the
out those choices that you made with another meaningful set of choices that fit the new build much better. And outside of that, no real hard decisions have been made yet, but that's the one thing that we want to hit.
Gotcha. And the 1 to 40. So in D3 right now, getting 1 to 70 is
it's
pretty
super
fast.
trivial.
unless you're a new player, you know, if
It's
you're,
gotten faster and faster, right?
It's getting
Yeah.
faster.
Or they
and
make
faster,
it pay to.
So
They're not
you
going to
see
sell
it
power.
being
He
like
literally
40
said
could take
that.
months or
Oh, I see.
hours or weeks. Do you have any?
So I don't
anything
know
you're
what
looking for
other
that?
proof you
Yeah,
need,
this is
but
something that we're actively
not-
discussing, and it would be great if we can get some
not
feedback
doing
from
that.
people too.
Maybe even Immortal.
Yeah, but we're not sure yet.
But
so
not the
factors
PC
that
game.
go into this decision. Oh, of course, it's not going to be as fast as Diablo 3, though, right? It's going to be
Oh,
much
thank
longer.
God.
But how long exactly?
Much
Things
longer.
like
What's
how
much
long is the
longer?
campaign experience? How long is the level up systems? Let's say like we have the skill point system and the talent tree system. If that's used for like 500 hours,
shouldn't
that's
be
probably
short.
way too much. So we have to calculate what we have and see if the leveling time is enough. If it's not, then we
Yeah.
have to make some changes, right? Like we have to either
Seriously.
shorten the time or
Whole game's probably
introduce more
freaking-
systems during level up to make the extra time useful.
Like,
So
honestly,
it's something that's
I
very difficult
would
to
not
say
surprise
this
me.
early on, but it is something that we are paying close attention to and discussing internally. But we would love to hear people's feedback, right? So if you can gather,
He says that a lot.
let us know. That would be great too, right?
You know, let us know.
So
Give us your feedback, which is good.
There's 5 open world areas. Is this
Yep.
just one of them, or is this all 5?
In this world,
Pretty
man.
sure
Ugh.
up to here is the is all of the Diablo 4 that we are planning so far.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So far.
So you can see it's a very small part. So we have. a long
Due
ways
to
to go.
D4, then ruin the whole
I
game.
gotcha.
Oh my.
Cool. Any beta plans?
But yes, you can't have
Yeah,
a
way
bad
too early.
launch with this
Yeah,
game.
yeah. We have a lot
It
of
has to
remaining
be
go.
relatively
Like
smooth.
we
Otherwise,
are
no one's
showing
gonna play.
everything that we can. So if you open up like the skill tree, then the grayed out ones we would have loved to show them, but like the effects are not ready or animations not ready and things like that, right? So we do have a long ways to go.
All right.
Yeah. What was your favorite class so far?
So far, I think the druid. Part of it is.
I heard that a lot. I heard
It
Druid
feels
was.
powerful. Part of it is
good.
having. You know, it's been a long time since I played the druid.
Yeah,
Like I love the barbarian, but I can play barbarian in D3.
Oh, I see.
Same thing with the sword.
Yeah.
The druid is like it's something. People,
Yeah, I think that's
you know,
gonna be a thing.
there was a time when people thought that it was going to come to D3 as a character back like
Oh,
the
I see.
Necro,
I
see.
didn't.
Yeah.
and then it seems like it didn't happen. So there's been a big demand for
Seemed
the
kinda
druid. It's a
silly.
big win
Yeah.
to include the druid.
Man, but the wolves look so good, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're good boys. They're
Yeah.
good boys. So we spoke about hardcore. There will be hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't know
Definitely
what more we want to
hardcore.
say. This one act like it acted in D2.
Yeah.
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 Always
Because other
hardcore.
games do it that if you die in hardcore, you become a softcore character.
Yeah, we don't currently have plans for that, but yeah, we'll see what the players want, right? But
Nah,
currently
pure
the plan is
hardcore.
to make it as true to the Diablo hardcore as possible.
All right.
Which means if you die, you
To
die.
Your plans on difficulty. So currently D3, for
This
instance,
is also a
has,
very
you
good
know,
question.
20 difficulty settings from up to Torment 16,
Yeah.
and then Greater Rifts have that infinite scaling.
Yeah.
Gimli.
Do you envision
Yeah, kind.
D4 being more like, say, D2
And my
where you have
axe.
normal Nightmare Hell, or what kind of difficulty system do you think you're looking at?
Yeah, so that's a interesting
Most
one
interesting
because
and seems
for
strong.
the level up
Um,
experience,
yeah, kind of.
surprisingly, we aren't sure
Because
what the
his spells are
exact
the
answer is
most,
yet.
like,
But for
persistent.
the end game, the key dungeons will act similar in that sense to Grifts. So you have that
Because you could
infinite
cast the storm, and that's not the only thing that
challenge
has to
that
go
you can
on.
keep going up, right?
So you could hit,
And
like,
in the open
Werebear.
world, in the end game, we want
in
to
the
make sure
meantime.
that there are difficult challenges there too, to add to the replayability. But outside of that, it's something that we'll have to figure out. So we'll see in the future.
All right.
Also, I think he says a lot. We'll see in the future.
Yeah, so the Druid, if you check out some of the talents, you can actually
Oh, stupid ads. I hate how the browser thing works. It's not a window capture.
attach some bonuses to shapeshifting.
Sorry about that.
Clear
Oh,
up this
yeah,
a bit.
yeah,
and,
right.
Bonuses to shapeshifting.
talents. Okay. So
Yeah,
let's
so I think it's one of these somewhere.
heightened senses. Damage reduction against nearby enemies is increased.
So it should say whenever you shapeshift into a form. Yeah.
Long order form.
So this is very interesting because the
Yeah,
bonus
he's a
persists.
You're here with
yes.
So you
magic
can
and pets.
actually
Huh.
stack up these bonuses at the exact right moments that you want. So I think that's one of the coolest things about rapid shapeshifting,
Yeah.
because you can choose your bonuses, and items obviously will have even more choices, right? So when you cook
Big Dad's
legendaries, you
constantly
can do
hits
some
home.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff, and the timing of when you
See,
change
that's so.
will matter a lot, right?
Right.
So
What
it
would you
visually
prefer,
looks
the
awesome,
D2
but on
system
the
where you have
systems
to
design
pick a
side,
form?
It's cool because you have that full customization of I'm choosing what happens, and I'm choosing
No,
when
it's
it
not.
happens too, right?
Because there's not synergies necessarily built into it.
Now, party
So what
size,
would
has
you
that been,
rather do?
determined yet? Is
Pick
it
a form like in
created?
D2 or
Party
this,
size is 4,
where it's
but
dynamic?
as you saw from, oh, maybe you have played it.
We did, yeah, the open
world
world.
boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the world boss requires like multiple parties. There will be other activities that require multiple parties as well. But yeah, the party size is 4.
All right. So we heard about trading, that there will be trading. Is it only in the town hub so that can happen?
Oh, no, but trading is very interesting because we
It
have
is
a
interesting.
specific
I hope
goal
the
for
in-game
trading,
way of doing it
which
is good.
is we want to make sure that there is
Can't be
trading in
shit.
Diablo 4, but not completely open-ended trading, so that players can't just get all the best items by like not even playing the
Yes.
game, right?
As
So where we're at
far
right
as they've
now
said
is there
it is
are
the
items
maximum.
that are tradable all
Not
the
sure
time,
about
so
that.
we can
Need to
maybe
play
use
it
that
probably.
flag
Yeah.
as a
See, in the open
anything
world
that's common
though,
in the game, maybe we
in
can
the
use
like
that flag.
world events, you see a
For
lot more
bind on
people.
trade items,
But
I
in
can
your
find
party,
something
it's
very
just
cool,
4.
and then I can use it for as long as I want, and then I can give it to you or something like that. But once
Yeah,
I give
it
it to
is
you, you
interesting.
can't trade it anymore. So this flag, we can use it for even some of the best items in the game, but not all, obviously, right? And then finally, we have the bind on pickup, which everyone should know how that works, right? So something like this, I think, is a good example of where a solution that fits our goals. But I don't think this is the end all, and it's something that we'll have to iterate more on. So this is another one of those things that I really want
Which
feedback
is
from
fine.
people on, is why I'm so like detailed with this answer, right?
I know that a lot of people in the community would love to see more interaction from the devs, love more open communication.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if you can speak to that, but just the
Probably
pass along,
not,
people
but
love,
he was on
when they
StarCraft
can
and
interact
they
with devs,
did a lot of
Yeah, so-
communication
forums, be on
anyway.
Reddit.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on which state the game is in, right? Like obviously we just
Yes and
announced for
no.
the first time, so it's not going to be the same as say like in a live game. But I think the current plan
He's
is after
saying
this
that it
announce,
won't
we
be so
will
like
kinda check
instant
back
and they
with the
can't
community
test
and
right away,
give
then
some
yes.
media updates
That's
on
true.
various different parts of the project.
But we
in
can
kind of a
always give feedback
regular
on
way,
what
right?
we see.
So I think last Luis talked about it. It was maybe 4 times per year to start off
And
with,
they did
and
say
then
that,
see how
orderly.
adjust as we go, right?
All right.
So I
I'm
think
not
our first
missing
update
the
will be
ability
like
to use
in
a mount, right? I would
March,
just
if I'm not
knock on the
mistaken.
button.
Oh, no,
Or they might do, like,
yeah, it's not in the demo
January,
yet. It's
Okay, alright.
very early
April
in
or
the development,
whatever.
so what you see is pretty much all we have so far.
Okay.
Yeah, but more to come in the future.
Gotcha. I'm gonna try to check out what's over here.
Have you checked out the Garen hold? It's like a more difficult.
They were also testing area levels in
didn't
this
know.
demo,
Oh, I see, yeah.
so that's why he brought
Yeah,
up
it's a similar difficult dungeon.
Garen hold.
System there.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you're level 20.
Because
but
it's like
the
a
dungeon is
level 23.
right?
All right.
I mean, it reads 25 on the map, so it could be just
People are
a
mentioning the possibility of doing
brain slip.
You guys can do live streams where you can have people ask you questions in chat.
Oh,
well, that'd be nice.
yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll have to work out the details, like where we go from here, right? But yeah, me personally, I love the idea of getting the community's feedback more aggressively and
Which
working
is
with the
good.
community. But that's very hard to do if there is no playable game out in the public.
See, like I was
So,
saying,
yeah, so we'll see how it
it's
goes.
just
right?
the
Because, when I
implementation
was on,
side
like,
of it
StarCraft,
that
for
slows
example,
down.
We had very heavy community interactions, but that was because we have the live game, we can put out the balanced test maps, all this
Well, they're
stuff,
gonna
right?
feel
So
it
it'll
in
be
the
a little bit of a
beta.
different
Like if they
situation.
make it a decent beta
Okay. So
and
we
not
know
like
that clients will
D3s where
be
you just
in
play the
game
first
with
15
that as
minutes,
a feature you can trade.
then they should be able to get
Stash, maybe a client stash.
Oh yeah, like a clan bank.
ton
or
of
something like that,
feedback.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Any other
then just
client integrations you're considering? or
yes
you
and
think
no.
this is basically it?
Oh, for example,
Pressure
clan
is going to
leaderboards is
exist
something that we're
anyway.
considering, but plans is
It's
also
just,
very early. Like we
you know,
probably have to
whether
build a lot more of the game first.
they let
before
it
we
cloud
discuss
their
the social
decisions or
features,
not.
but we definitely want to do plans, and we definitely want to have features in the game that promote social play and allowing players to make friends if they want to.
Friends who has friends.
Oh, it is getting harder from here too, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
you're not in the dungeon
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. So we heard that the weather system is really deep. That like if it rains, your character
Oh, yeah,
will get
weather's
wet, enemies
cool.
will get wet. Is that just a visual thing, or will there be any gameplay?
Hope it's not
mechanisms,
just
like
visual.
lightning damages wet people more, or anything like that?
I think that
Not
kind of
like
stuff
too
just
powerful,
went in.
but like
So currently it's just
something to
visual,
make it
but we'll
meatier.
see how that turns out, right? And where those things appear. And depending on that answer, we'll be able to do more or less with it, right? Yeah. But it would be pretty cool if you can interact
No, that's
with the
not
weather
possible.
in specific ways, especially in like endgame dungeons or something like that, right?
In-game dungeons.
Any
I
word
hope there's a
on,
lot to do.
Increasing clan size from D3 from 150. You probably.
They should
Yeah,
do
we
that
haven't
too.
talked about the clan size yet at all, but yeah, any feedback would be welcome there.
I know a lot of people would like it to be bigger, but
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
It'd
Yeah,
be bigger.
right.
it's it's going to be a technological
Yeah.
limitation, I imagine.
That is
Speaking
the
of technological
divinity aspect. That would be
limitations,
nice.
someone
Weather
noted that
affecting
the
combat
demo's
sounds
putting on
interesting.
2080s
Yeah,
and
so
they're
like
asking about ray
that would
tracing.
be, you know, like if
I
there's
would not be
rain
the right
and the
person to
druid
ask for
puts,
something like that, but yeah.
Yeah.
you know, lightning, it travels through the
Another
water
dev also mentioned
and
that,
like
yeah,
stuns
they're
things, for example,
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
or like a sorceress spell.
So, you guys did mention though that it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. I mean, I guess it would eventually be ported to the next gen consoles too. I think some people are surprised that it wasn't the default to be.
That
for
was
the
a
next-gen
weird
consoles.
Oh, I see.
thing,
I mean,
but I
those
get
are
that.
not out yet. And then,
They're not out
like
yet,
even we
so-
don't know when the ship date is, so depending on the ship date, anything can happen. But yeah,
Soon.
currently, because those are the ones that we know, we're developing for those two consoles.
Okay. All we know about release date is that it was said it's not going to be soon, not even Blizzard
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
Does that mean like 10 years?
Sucks, man. 10
Hopefully
years.
not, right? Because we've been developing for a few years now, and
2029
yeah.
D4 release.
hope not. Yeah, but we'll
Alright.
see. Yeah.
We'll see.
Closed beta only.
Yeah, so a lot of these
10 more
storm
years.
skills.
Yeah.
So like, we want to make sure each class is very distinct and different in as many ways as possible. So you know that the sorceress uses lightning magic, and then the druid uses storm magic, right?
Within
so one of
5
the
would be
mechanical
nice.
ways that we're
4.
differentiating the two is we're trying to make it so that a lot of the storm skills are persistent effects.
Yes, we will
So
see.
you can cast that spell and then do whatever else you want, right? Versus lightning can't do that, so it's like a very clear mechanical difference, right? So we want to try to do more of that in Diablo 4.
So I know that this effect is the mana is sorcerer only, but the hit effect of the Hydra
Yeah.
also applies to me, or also sorcerer only.
Yes.
Yeah, so hit effect
It's not
is
sorcerer
I don't know
only,
if
it's
you're
just that
aware
stat
of
line.
clock scalars and
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay, yeah. So we're visualizing what that is a little bit more so. So each skill should have a hit effect chance.
Uh-huh.
So it's gonna allow players to exactly know the exact numbers before
Which
they
is
plan
cool.
the builds, which is different from Diablo 3, because in Diablo 3,
Yep.
it was
Yeah,
a
'cause
little
it
bit
just
hidden,
says chance.
so it looks like, oh, I'm gonna get so many procs off of this skill, but you actually didn't get that, right? So that's what that is. And then here, yeah, like Hydra is spawned whenever you, with a 5% chance or whatever, right?
Awesome. Someone noted right away that there's no shoulder slot. Is
Mhm.
that definitive?
Yeah, no shoulder, no belt, and no
Nothing
bracer.
I would say is definitive, but the current thought for it is visually, we
If
wanted to
that's-
make sure that we have
Yeah.
that visual variety of like
It
some
is,
armor
'cause you-
pieces having
'cause
really
you have
awesome
13
shoulder
slots in
pieces,
this game.
some armors having no shoulder pieces. Say like the barbarian, if an endgame look was topless, for example,
Which is a good
that would be pretty
point.
cool, right?
Right.
So it's a visual change, and if we need more item slots for mechanical reasons, we can of course do that separately. So
like you did with the barb with the arsenal system.
yeah, yeah, right.
Do you want to explain that system a little bit?
Oh yeah. So the barbarian can equip 2 two-handed weapons and 2 one-handed weapons. So he actually gets to use more items than any other class. And why that's cool is because, for example, there's a talent that says every time you swing a different weapon, you get this buff, and then you can stack this buff, right? So it just gives us more hooks for the barbarian to play very differently compared to any other class in the game, right? So we can do stuff like whenever you swing two-handed weapon after
That
dual
means you have to
wielding,
use
something cool happens,
multiple
things like that, right?
skills
So it just
all the
gives us a
time.
lot more, I guess, cool mechanical
Goes from
hooks
1 key to
for the
2.
barbarian builds to be very different from other classes in the game.
I noted some people were asking about skill synergies, like in D2. Any
I
anything
believe
like
you said
that?
yes.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Especially on the legendary
Also, I
item
don't
side,
like-
we're going to try to do
I
as
don't
many synergies as
Like what
possible.
he said when
And
he
with that
asked about
change
the
of
stat
legendaries being more
page.
powerful than
Yeah.
set items in Diablo 4, you'll be able to fully customize
I hope it's
exactly
actually
what you can do
like blown
on every
out.
single slot and on every single skill slot too, right?
All right. Now I think
'Cause I
itemization-wise,
I mean-
someone, I believe it was Joe Shelley was talking about how
I get how in
there isn't going to be that
previous
progression of
games
magic
the
to
stat
rare to legendary.
allocation was really
And,
pointless
Some people feel like, okay, well,
for
I
the
kinda
most
like
part.
the idea of
Like
there
it didn't
maybe a rare
actually
to be
do
an endgame
very
item.
much.
Is that at all?
Because in
possible on the
D2
table, or
you
do you
just
feel
needed
that
enough
endgame
strength
will be either
and
sets or
then, you
probably
know,
legendaries?
Yeah, so if
full
many
vitality,
players feel
for
like
example.
it's too much choice to
In
have,
D3 it's just
to have to
main
decide
stat.
legendary powers on every single item slot, then that could be a
And
possibility. But
the
where we want
effects
to
of the
start,
points just scale up.
where we think we want to start, of course, anything can
Wasn't
change until we release the
This one.
game, is we want to try giving players the full control and
But I do
open as
hope they
many
go
slots
at
as
least go
possible
like
first.
armor,
And
vitality,
if
and
for some
stuff
reason
that
testing
just
doesn't go well, then
matters
that
between
is a definite
everything.
possibility that we can switch to.
Or if they are
Any
gonna do
plans
like
for
an intelligence, then
leaderboards?
it should matter somehow.
Yeah, so we love the idea of especially the leaderboards where you can compete with people you know. So we'll definitely do that. And aside from that, yeah, I think it's a little too early to talk about the exact plans for like a social system, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Is there a secret Calda?
I think the
So-
right answer is there is no. There hasn't been, right?
There is
I'm
no
not the
cow
best person
level.
to describe that in the coolest of sentences. Yeah.
Awesome. Any plan for support builds? So, for instance, D3 was designed that
He said
explicitly without
yes.
support builds in mind. They want
But
every
they
build
want
to be a DPS.
the
Is that same philosophy
build to
in
at
mind
least
here,
be
or do you
doing
want there to
something.
be actual, like, do you want support builds to be a thing?
Yeah, we want support. We are building and trying out different types of legendaries that support builds. But at the same time, what we want to try to do, if we can, is make it so that you are actually doing something against the monsters too, right? Like for example, say you have this
I just hope
skill that
Barb
pulls
doesn't
everything
suck.
together, and then you can combo that with a different skill that like stuns everything in place or something like that, right? And
'Cause
maybe
it
we can
has for
attach something
years in
like
this game.
every time you hit with this other skill, it reduces the cooldown of those two critical skills that you need to use, right? So we want to make sure that everyone is playing the game and fighting the monsters, and at the same time still have those options for if I want to play a lot more support, I can do that. If I want to play a lot more
Get
damage,
out of
then
that
I can do
window,
that too,
sir.
kind of thing.
What did you think of charms in Diablo 2?
Oh, the inventory space was difficult, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I think the upside is it's cool collecting these cool bonuses to items, and that interacts with the kind of the
Some
item Tetris
charms
of it
were
all.
like
But
way
what's
too
a
good
little bit
though.
not as ideal, I guess, is
Because it
um,
was worth
making
sacrificing
a
your
system so
inventory for
that
them.
you sacrifice convenience for power.
Yes.
So it's like if I'm okay with going back to town like 100 times more than you, then I can be more powerful. That I think we can improve
yes.
if we
No, I
did
agree.
something like that.
Definitely agreed there. So
I
early
seriously
D3,
hope that exists.
They stated that there was going to be the talisman system to store like a separate inventory just for charms.
Oh, I see.
Any thoughts on something like that potentially coming back? That you don't have to do that inventory Tetris with the
I see.
charms.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
And we do have different inventory slots now too, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah, which is
yeah,
interesting
we didn't
because your
currently
quest
we
items
don't
go
currently
into a
have plans
separate
for that, but it's something that we can
thing.
definitely discuss. So I'll take it back
It's
to
not
the
mixed
team
in
and
with your
discuss next week.
general items.
Yeah.
Will the Herodric Cube or some incarnation of it make a return?
Yes?
Yeah, I also think the cube is one of those things that is very Diablo defining. So we do want some of those effects. I don't think we've talked about mythic items yet. We will in the panel briefly. So mythic items are the strongest items in Diablo 4.
Oh, I hope he
you can only
means more
equip one of
like
those items, but they have 4 legendary
the
powers on them.
D2 cube that doesn't
So
necessarily
naturally, you
have the
can kinda
effects
imagine,
that some recipes
The
still
chances
exist.
of getting the 4 exact powers that I want is not that high, right?
Right.
So if we had something like the cube, of course, it makes sense for that system, right? So
Interesting. So I heard that you definitely want the end game itemization, end game builds and automation to be in the player's hands. That customization,
Yeah.
the design philosophy almost
To make
for
rares
D3
matter,
builds
damn it.
is almost like the devs sort of dictate what the builds are going to be based on the set bonuses.
Yeah, I hate that.
kind of feels like that, right? Yeah.
It
yeah.
feels that
Yeah.
way, yeah.
No, it is that way.
Of course, players will always find certain combinations, but it still feels like there's a direction that the devs are pointing you in.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's not the approach you're taking for D4.
Yeah, we
Good.
want to create as many legendaries as possible so that people feel like they have enough options. And of course, like I talked about before, we want to create this scenario where we can introduce new items to the game through seasons. So that way, so you're not, so like the most hardcore players out there, they love to discuss various topics online. So what we can do is if there is ideas on like this build will be really awesome if there was just this one type of item, then we can actually explore that and add that to the game and stuff like that too, right? So it's kind of going beyond, you'll have full customization in game, and also we can kind of work together to figure out what are some new types of builds that you can play in future seasons kind of thing, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ones that don't suck.
Got like 2.5 minutes left here. Speak with. That was definitely cool. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, right?
A little tougher. A little tougher.
Yeah.
I was honestly
tougher.
surprised that we beat the. I think she spawns up here that
Yeah.
world boss, but we were a ton of people.
Oh, I
It was
see.
cool to see all the
Yeah,
people
yeah.
come together.
Yeah.
I have to admit that I've previously expressed before the reveal happened concerns about the open world, going the open world route. That one thing
Yeah.
I dislike about MMOs, and it's just a personal preference, is running into
Make
other
one
people
build
and
that's
like,
amazing and
there's
it's a way to go.
respawning
Yeah.
monsters, and it just feels like a docile world because players run amok and you're almost competing for the resource of monster kills
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just waiting for a boss to respawn
And that can also happen if everyone's too strong.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that would be a concern because
Because the world could just feel like a weak-ass place if
Yeah.
they give too much
Obviously, I'm a
power.
play experience, but so far
Especially
I'm
in
not
a
getting
level
the vibe
cap.
of what concerned me. So
Yeah.
Game.
so far I'm okay with the whole open world nature of it.
Yeah, yeah. Even
But-
though it's an open world and a shared open world, we want to make sure to keep that kind of dark, kind of barren.
I just
like,
don't want this
harsh
whole
world
paragon.
And in order to do that, I think one of the
Bullshit.
most important things is
With
to
the
not have you
infinite
run
scaling.
around and run into like 20 people, 30 people, right?
I hate that so much.
we want to make sure that unless it's an
'Cause then again, it
specific
turns
activity
into
like
time
killing the
investment.
world boss, you're not running into too many people at once.
It'd be
That
nice
has
if
been nice.
the
So far,
world
I've
scales
Yeah, so
of
that's
player.
one or two
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
they're running along, but it was only at the world event because it calls out, for people to come do it. That's cool.
How do you read the chat? Like, it goes up so fast.
Yeah, normally it's not this fast.
Oh, I see.
And normally
My
I'm
chat's
very
not
behind
that
on chat.
fast.
I basically
I
spent
see.
all stream not playing and just reading
Oh, okay,
chat.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we miss a lot of it. But
Yeah.
so I think crossplay was something that so far is not implemented, but they like the idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Good lord, I hope they don't make it seem like
I heard about controller
simple.
support on PC though.
Yeah.
too simple.
No plans for keyboard mouse support for console though.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that actually, but yeah. Good thing that you heard from someone else.
Yeah. Is Magic Find coming back?
Oh, so
So he says yes.
thing like Magic Find or increased gold, we want to do. So right now we have them in gems, but what we don't like is we don't like when they compete against like damage affixes, right?
Yeah,
so
but why?
like now the player choice is, do I want to kill stuff faster, which makes me stronger, so I'm having more
you
fun
should
with the
have
game.
Yeah.
But in reality, Magic Find is the
But
way
it's
to go.
not going to
so
be
I'm
that way.
actually
It's all going
playing
to
a
be
weaker
mixed.
build than I can, right? So what we're doing in gems is when you
So
stock
what they
in
want
gems
is the open
into
world, and
jewelry,
then you can just
those
do
are all
whatever
kind
you
of
want.
utility bonuses,
level.
including like Magic Find,
D3
right?
has that
So
separation.
we are having those things in the game, but they won't be
Like
in
the
contention
campaign
with
is more
making
neutral
you
because you
stronger.
can overpower it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Because
Very
the
easily.
D3 dev said the same thing about they didn't
And
want
then
to-
adventure mode is
Yeah.
like
but
where
their
the real
solution
game
as well
is.
was just covered it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
it
it
was
is a
also-
cool thing
In a
about
way,
Diablo, right?
like,
so yeah, we do want to
not
bring those
strictly.
back.
Yeah. Because one thing that was happening as well was in group play, you'd have like one person, be the Magic Find dude
Yeah, yeah.
for the whole party, which was like, okay, one dude's having less fun in order for the whole party
Yeah, right.
to benefit.
Yeah,
Oh man, there's a question that I saw.
But I do want a less forgiving
Forgot
loot
about
system.
now, but I'll bring it up. Yeah, so you do plan to have seasons.
Oh yeah, of course. And the goal for seasons is to change up the play experience as much as possible. So like the item side I talked about. But we want to
hope
try
it's
to
not
do
just
that
items.
across as many angles as possible. So for example, new types of challenges in dungeons, new types of maybe monster affixes, things like that.
Okay,
But we
yeah,
wanna do
so
as
it
much
is
as
not
we
just
can
gonna
to
be
make sure
items.
that when you come back for a season, it's a new experience and you can have new
Planning
things
it like
going, right?
Path of Exile. Kind of.
Probably familiar with a little game called Path of Exile.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Plan on, well, what are your thoughts on the magnitude of their leagues? Just when they do their major, like, complete game-changing
Oh, I see.
new leagues.
Yeah, it's similar in some ways, different in
Different in
others.
others.
So we're gonna have very different types of challenges. I think it's a great game. A lot of the people on the team really enjoy it too. But I think for Diablo, the most important thing is try to figure out, like, not just path, right? Look at the ARPGs, look at open world single player games, look at maybe even MMOs, and take the elements that fit and work very well in Diablo 4. So that's something that we're doing a lot of. Yeah, it will, I guess the short way of saying that is, no matter what game it is, we're gonna try to make Diablo 4 with
Which
kind
is
of
encouraging.
every cool detail and cool system in mind.
I heard a rumor that there's a treasure goblin in a specific place on the map. Is that true?
There
In
are
the demo
treasure
there
goblins,
was.
but I didn't think it was in a specific place.
Okay,
But as you're
alright.
running around, you'll encounter him. Yeah.
Cool.
Have you seen the unstoppable mechanic?
The barbarian had it.
Oh, I
yes.
see.
Yeah.
Makes you not
If they
grapple
fit.
quickly, Yes.
Yeah. So unlike
That's
many
the-
RPGs, Diablo 4 doesn't have diminishing returns
That's
on
the
CCs.
thing.
Oh,
And
wow.
also,
So
that's
it's
weird. Full
all the
duration
time,
CC.
But instead, we have specific skills that you can use that make you unstoppable, and that just means you can break out of CCs and you're immune to
Yes,
that
kitty.
CC for that duration, right? So some skills just break you out. Other skills make you unstoppable for a really long time. So you'll be able to kind of customize your own character. So if you're struggling a lot against CCs, you can build your character more resistant against that. If you're not struggling that much, then you don't have to worry about unstoppable as much, right? So I think it's a pretty cool system because it's always difficult to remember when I use that CC if it's gonna have like little effect or no effect, things like that. But now you know you'll have full effect unless the enemy has something that he can counter with, right?
Awesome. What are your thoughts on farming bosses for specific items? Is
I think that
something
should be
happening,
possible.
Or more just drops can happen anywhere?
Yeah, we get that feedback a lot internally too. Across the board, I think
Like most
Diablo
items you
is
should be able to
about
find
being
anywhere.
able to kill like the weakest monster, or maybe you can kill a barrel and get like the strongest
Mhm.
item in the game, right?
Yeah.
So baseline, I think it's
Oh.
important to keep that vibe, but that's not to say
But I mean, some items can be locked
100%
at a boss.
of everything doesn't need to work like that, right? So it is something that
Wonder
we
how
can
that
definitely
applies to,
explore.
but yeah.
And we should explore internally, yeah.
The stagger bar is
Has any
different.
thought been given to mercenaries or followers?
Oh, not much thought on that yet. We're still very busy building the rest of the game first. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see what happens in the future.
All right.
Yeah,
Also,
so
I
as
don't
you
know
can
about
see,
a
there's
follower
like
in
three
an open
different. So it
thing
starts
like
with
this.
1 and then 3 different, which is different from the other classes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she also has more choices than other classes in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which speaks to the asymmetrical design.
Right. Any plans to have achievement systems?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, of course.
achievements.
Yeah.
How about player housing or clan housing?
Oh,
Could be
yeah,
a
we
thing.
definitely haven't talked about that one, but yeah, we'll see, right?
All right.
We'll see.
Some question if you plan to extend
Yeah.
or expand the talent tree at any point?
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah.
Give me a moment, I'll be
For
right back.
now, our thought.
Either 20 awards opening
Oh.
because he's God's gift.
What do you do for Halloween?
I don't know. I didn't look.
Oh. We will see his go-to phrase. Yeah.
Thought is we will
Almost a
add
cop-out,
more
but
to
not.
it in expansions, but to what degree we're not sure.
Oh,
yet.
that.
Okay.
Oh,
So
God.
sort of like max level is 40, then first expansion will give you another 10, 20 levels. and
Yeah, something like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Any potential dual resource classes like the Demon Hunter?
Oh, Yeah, we do want to make different classes as different as possible. So one of the like easy hooks, I guess, is to have multiple resources, right? So I think you can safely assume that we will explore that very hard, but as to what the remaining classes will exactly do, we don't know yet.
Okay. In D2,
Damage.
certain skill runes like Enigma
Nope,
would
stop it.
allow a non-sword to have teleport, for instance. You can have.
I hope they
different
bring
classes
those
skill,
old
right?
rune words
The
back.
Hydra that you saw, right?
Yeah.
Because if they're gonna
Like in
cap the
D3, it was a
game
design choice that they definitely did not want that to
in a
pass.
way that doesn't
Yeah.
have
In
infinite
D4, you're-
scaling, they can have a system like that.
Oh, I guess
It'll
the time
fit.
ran out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So in D4, are you open to cross-class skills?
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to the same topic that we just talked about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Distinguishing each of the classes.
In
And we
game
do
groups, I
think some
no idea.
crossover, especially in the end game through legendary items, is a good thing. But too much is probably hurtful to the class identity, right? So we need to find the right
Which is
balance
correct.
of that. And yeah, I guess I can't say exactly how it's
Yeah.
gonna be. It's too early. But as we explore legendary items, it's something that we'll definitely keep an eye on.
Like you want
When it comes to
some
balance,
utility in there. You don't want it to just be, oh, bring 5
which
DPS and
game, be it
or
a Diablo
whatever.
game, be it another, do
4
you feel like
DPS
that
and
sort of
it
represents the
works.
sort of drop rates you're
You want some
Oh, I
like
see.
difficulty.
So, so what we're doing in Diablo 4 is quite different from previous
Which makes sense if they
Diablo
want to look at
games
support
because
boards.
you can get more powerful versions of the same item as you play the game, even in the end game,
okay.
which means we don't have to increase the drop rate of legendaries, for example, right? So we can find that perfect and ideal kind of drop rate for the level of experience, and then maybe have a different one for the max level experience. And because the power grows too, we can keep to what that ideal is. But we don't know exactly what that
I
number
think
is yet.
that's the
But
WoW
through
system,
testing, we'll be able to
if
figure
I'm
that
not
out, right?
mistaken.
And through iteration. Yeah, so we'll see. I am very worried and curious to see how this kind of major change plays out in Diablo 4.
Gotcha. I'm guessing for the demo, the drop rates are boosted.
Oh, for the demo, actually, the secret is legendary items.
Question. Hello?
What?
Question. For WoW, when you find something, you can find a better version of it, right? Like all the stats are ranges?
I don't know how it works in the new WoW. To be quite honest, I haven't played enough of it, but yeah, I think so.
Okay.
No. Wrong. It's set.
Oh, yeah, so if you find it, you know it's like best in slot.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly it. And then if, I mean, there's different tiers of it. Normal, heroic. Wow, I'm so out of touch with WoW. I haven't played it in years. God help me.
No, that's okay.
Because we work. I don't know.
Because in Diablo, even in the old ones, some items had stats that rolled on ranges. So if you found something, you could potentially find a better one. And they're talking about that in the new Diablo game. So not every stat was variable. But on some items, some of them were variable, so you could find like an almost perfect item. A certain item is set unless it's... Yeah, okay. So that's why I was
At very
curious.
specific places.
Oh.
Interesting that you didn't notice, even though you played it.
Well, I noticed
yeah.
in the original dungeon,
Yeah.
but I thought the others
Oh, I
were
see.
random. Yeah.
No, right now it's
Okay.
it's secret, so don't tell anyone. But it's in the dungeon from the ghouls,
Oh,
and
don't
then
tell.
the sea hag drops one, and then the world boss drops one, and that's it.
Dude, I was
No
jealous.
other
They had
place.
like
Yeah, but
20K
obviously it's not gonna
viewers.
be like that in the real game, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't have
Okay.
20.
How do you like the?
Oh, super cool.
Yeah. So this is like an example to show
Wait.
the
Oh, no,
quality
yeah, that's Creed's
of
fine.
in-game cinematics, cutscenes that we're gonna do, and of course there's
Oh,
gonna
there's
be like,
not too
action
many
scenes too,
cutscenes.
things like that. So I'm very excited for that for the end result, right? Oh, and this area, everything you see, you can actually go there in Diablo 4, which
Which
is
is
a huge
awesome.
change as well. So that's actually the town that you can walk into and so on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
super
It's something
awesome.
that's easy to miss, but I think it's one of the coolest things because anything you can see, you can actually go there, which is a huge improvement, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the lightning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that amulet.
Yeah.
So for the, oh geez, what was it gonna be? No, so we said no charms are not currently in the works. Stash space. Oh yeah, so are we gonna have individual? So in D2 you had your individual stash tab and then the shared stash tab amongst your characters. In D3 you just have the shared stash tab.
D2 does not have shared stash.
Oh, currently,
Oh, D3
because we have
does.
that very specific goal for trading, your stash tabs will, like how they function will depend heavily on what type of trading system we land on. Because
Which
what we
is
want
true.
to avoid is a situation where you have to trade your item between your own characters. Like if you own the item, you should be able to use it on any class, any character of your choice, right?
Yes.
So currently, because the example of the trading that I said is that way,
Ah,
we have shared stash tabs to get around the trading for your own characters, so you can feed your alts and level that up quickly if you want to, and things like that, right? But if trading changes, that will change too.
Any thoughts to the role gold will play in either trading or in the game? Is it going to be a gold
gold.
sink, or are we just going to, by the end game, have gold and gold's going to be irrelevant?
Yeah, so currently we're trying to be more strict with gold at a personal level for
good.
players. So the gambler, kind of like D2, how it works is you can spend gold to gamble. So it's going to be kind of like a improvement off of Geed and Kadala kind of thing, but he takes gold, right? So if you can kind of imagine, if I can gamble for the best items in
Gambling
the
with
game,
gold.
then gold will be meaningful at all times, right? So that's kind of our plan with gold and gold sinks.
Gotcha. Are zones level specific, or do they scale with player level?
He
Oh,
said
so
they're playing around
currently-
with that.
We're trying various versions. We do currently have level scaling in the game, but one of the main goals, so the reason why we have it is because we have that shared open world. We want players to play together, right? But
Pardon me.
there's many things we want to avoid, but one of those things is we want to make sure that every time you equip and upgrade, it's always making you stronger and never weaker, never even against the monsters. So we
To
want to
anyone
make sure
watching,
that
I
your power
do
progression
stream a
is
lot
always
of
felt,
Diablo, so
and at the same
I
time we
will
have
probably
level
not be in
scaling
this
so that you can
category
play
a
with
lot
anyone,
until the game comes
of
out.
your
So if you
friends
want to know
at
when
any
I'm
time,
live, following is the best way to do that, or follow me on Twitter.
Interesting
what
that you
have
asked that,
you.
because by playing the demo, there's no
yeah.
way to know. Yeah, right?
Well, I mean, we do see that like, this is a level whatever. So
Yeah,
the dungeons seem to have the clear levels.
Yeah, so what we're currently playing around with is
The
we do have
D4
level
seems to
scaling,
be
but it's not
hot
completely
topic
fixed level
nowadays,
scaling.
so
We do
get
have
it
some
out.
areas that are more difficult, that have like floors, I guess,
Hop
right?
in.
So until you get to level 30, that area monsters are always level 30 kind of thing. And we also are exploring with ceilings as
Especially
well,
because
to
there's no
make,
game yet.
stuff a little easier if necessary.
Ah, stupid ads.
Here we go.
Oh, didn't skip button.
Are you familiar with Last Epoch? It's an
Last
RPG
Epoch.
in alpha.
I haven't played that.
I think,
Yes, yeah.
April.
Not super familiar, but a couple of our system designers are playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like how people are
So one
playing
neat thing
various
about
other
that is that
games.
their skill system, it's sort of, it mixes D2 and D3 skill
Oh, yeah.
systems in that you have every skill similar. You know, you can level up every individual skill,
Yeah.
but every skill has its own
Skill tree, yeah.
skill tree,
Yeah,
with runes that sort of will change the way the skill.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
operates.
played a little bit of Lost Ark,
Uh-huh.
and that game has something similar too. Yeah, which is very cool too, right? But I think at the core of it, the more important thing is how much choice and customization players have. And because we have the skill system as well as the talent system, we believe that's quite a bit more choice. But if we need more choices in the game, of course, we'll try to explore more systems. to
Yeah.
level up, right?
Any plans for more? So one thing I realize is you guys have never said anything. You never used the word the three letters MMO, despite some of it
Not.
like feels like MMO elements.
Yeah, there are definitely some MMO elements, right? But it kind of goes back to what I was talking about. We want to take elements from different games that work really well for Diablo 4, but like saying like, is this game like an MMO or not, is very
One thing I
difficult
hope they
because
do
there are
learn is
some
cooldowns.
cool things that will work really well in Diablo 4 out of those elements, and there
I'd
are
rather
others
have,
that
like,
would make it so
resource
like
control
if you
than
ran
what I can
into
do.
so many people as you're running around, that feels like an MMO, but I don't think that's correct for Diablo 4, right? So
why
what we're
did I
trying
miss-
to do is create a pure Diablo game at its core, but explore and try out different elements from different types of games, and if it works really well, keep it. If it doesn't, then don't keep it kind of mentality, right?
Gotcha. Is it possible to remove things from sockets, or will it be?
Oh yeah,
Could be.
of course.
At a cost, or just free on
Oh,
socketing?
I want
It's
to
free
say
right now.
at a cost, but that could, of course, change.
Okay.
Yeah.
D3 is they
And
made
we
it
know
free.
about the, you can respec your talents. Is that free or at a cost?
Currently, the thought is that that one is free because, like, say, Diablo is all about the legendary items and that cool moment that it brings, right? So you're leveling up, legendary item drops, and it's like, oh, do I want to spend the gold to try this out, or can I just respec and try it out? I think the latter is much more Diablo, so that's the reason for that decision.
I noticed items don't have a durability, so
Oh, yeah.
is that just
Pointless
the system
system.
was redundant? Didn't add anything?
So we want systems that take you back to town at specific intervals. So durability,
durability
isn't
does do
cut.
that.
It's not in this build, and
Okay.
we're trying out both versions of it at different times. But yeah, what do you think about the durability?
So it depends on the implementation. So in D2, it mattered because of ethereal items. But
Yes.
outside of that, like in D3, it just
It's a
feels
gold
like
sink, right? Yeah.
It's a gold
D3
sink
it's
that
stupid.
matters early, and then it stops mattering. And
Yeah.
it's just a button to
It
press,
doesn't ever
and
matter.
it doesn't really dig into your gold. So I've like in D3, if it didn't exist, it
Like,
wouldn't
don't
bother
kid
me.
yourself.
I see.
But if
Yeah.
there's reason, like if there's some choices
Like if you
to be
got
made
like a
based
cool
on-
bonus above a certain durability
Ah,
level or
yeah.
something like that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, it's something that we're
Deeper
talking about.
mechanics.
But
Cool.
yeah, we'll see, right? But it's good,
What
great
do you
hearing
mean
your
without
thoughts
having
too.
broken gear? Like,
The Sea Hack Death is pretty crazy.
Yeah, this reminds me of Greed from D3, but like
Oh, yeah.
a much darker
then
version.
something.
Yeah.
Certain, yeah.
And have you seen the have you noticed in the gameplay trailer that there's Duriel?
I did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
Oh,
was
yeah,
that Duriel?
Duriel
Yeah.
was-
Duriel was like the most traumatizing experience for me in D2
Yeah.
the first.
Yeah, right. And his skill that like pulls you into his stomach is pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was nutty.
He's like a hydralisk who just never stopped lifting.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. And I think the encounter designers, one of their main goals for that is to kind of bring that the feeling of kind of I feel kind of trapped in this place with this boss kind of thing, right? So
With Duriel, yes.
hopefully, yeah,
Much entrapment.
it's very. It does Diablo 2 Duriel justice, right?
Yeah. So I know people keep asking about, is a paladin, is the assassin going to come back? Obviously, you can't talk to that. We know 3 of the classes have been revealed. We know there's going to be 2 others.
Yeah.
Could be
And
both.
presumably you're going to try to, well, I guess I'll ask, are they going to cover additional archetypes? Like Diablo 1 had, the 3 archetypes of martial warrior, the ranged agile type, and the mage. Right now we're seeing the mage, the martial warrior, the druid.
Yeah.
So we're seeing the kind of bow or ranged non-magic type
Yeah.
not being covered. So people are speculating either Demon Hunter or Amazon.
Yeah.
Do you think
A
it's
lot of
possible
people
to see
want
entirely
Amazon.
new classes?
Like covering the archetypes, I guess makes sense, but at the same time, it is the 4th game of the iteration, so we can break some rules too, right? So it's really impossible to say right now which are the last 2 classes. But
Heard the man
we
give
are
you the feedback.
personally, or I am personally curious what people want as the last classes as well. Like, do people prefer returning classes? Do people prefer brand new classes, and so on, right? So that'd be
downstream.
something.
The answer to that would
great
be
to know.
returning.
Yeah, and it's one of the advantages of announcing this game, so we can ask questions like these, right?
Seen a lot of Amazon, seen
Yeah, right.
some monk, some paladin.
Yeah, necromancer.
Monk.
If you were
Someone
to
said
bring,
dwarf, I think.
Dwarf.
Yeah.
if you were to bring back a holy knight, do you think it would be in the form of the paladin or the crusader, or maybe even some new thing? 'Cause the
Yeah,
crusader
hard
was
to
sort of
say,
painted
yeah.
as it's
Just
like
put
an
in
elite
Gimli.
paladin, like an
Give him
uber
an
paladin.
axe.
Yeah, yeah.
Done.
But in many ways, it
No
was
other
the
skills
paladin
needed.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to
You'd
say.
be
Just,
like the
but
main
just
character.
personally, I personally like the paladin a little bit better. But yeah, we don't know yet, right?
I guess it's a name that has a lot more history to it.
Yeah, right.
Like Crusader is a cool word and
Yeah,
everything, but like the Paladin, you know,
Yeah.
everyone knows what a Paladin is.
Yeah.
Yes.
From all the way back from Dungeons and Dragons to World of Warcraft, and all the different fantasy
Yeah,
games
yeah.
have done Paladin.
Yeah, but anything's possible, right? Like D3 at launch didn't have that plate glass or whatever, right? So yeah, anything's possible, I think.
Do you think? Well, I guess if anything's possible, has any concept of a dark knight, like an evil type of paladin, been
I
tossed
see.
around? If you can talk to that.
Yeah, like there's just so many ideas. So of course, like we talked about that one too. But whether something's gonna make it or not, like we really don't know, right? We're focusing on these 3 classes first. So yeah, but it would be a good discussion, I think, for the community too, right? Yeah, what they would like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know that there's no offline play, and presumably
Yeah,
there's no
which
ability to
whatever.
turn off the whole shared world thing. But we did hear that you could basically play the game solo. You don't have to interact. You're encouraged to, but you
Yeah.
don't have to interact with other players. Is the game more challenging if you play it solo? Is group play, so in D3, group play is far more efficient
Yeah.
than solo play?
Yeah, so I guess for the first part, just to be really specific, we're thinking right now that the campaign experience is completely private. So if you don't bring in someone within your party, it's going to be solo in those areas, right? And once you beat that, then it's going to turn into the shared open world part of it. Dungeons, of course, majority will be private, so you can play it that way. And like you were saying too, even in this shared area, you don't really run into other people too, right? So no one's really getting in your way kind of thing. And for
Which
your
I'm glad
second
that-
part, we do want to make sure that group play versus solo play is as even as possible.
Not
But
gonna be.
we all know that's not how game balance works, right? It's not going to be perfect. So we are going to try to err on the side of group play a little bit, because if not, then everyone's just going
Where
to play
is
solo,
air?
and the shared open world is not going to be as cool, right?
Right.
So
right.
we're going to try our absolute best to make it as even as possible, but at the same time, if we can't hit that exact spot, then we're going to favor group play a little bit.
What sort
A
of
little
death
bit.
penalties do we see in D4?
So right now it's very
penalties.
harsh. So
Checkpoint
when you
is not
die,
harsh.
you have to run back
At least
from
in the
the
demo.
last checkpoint, right?
But
and you
yeah,
drop,
it could be super harsh.
like a gold tile, and you gotta go pick it up. It's something that
Depending
we're
on where the checkpoints
also
are.
there's very different opinions on this internally too. So we'll see how that goes.
I haven't died yet, so I'm gonna go try to die.
Yeah.
See it happen.
Yeah.
Class-specific items, like base item types.
Yes.
You want to see something like that?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, of course we'll have class-specific items and item types. Like for example, the sorceress I think uses staves, offhands, and wands right now. The barbarian obviously has access to the
I hope
most
there's like
item types,
tiers of
but does he
items
really
too.
have to use staves or wands? Probably not. So
Like
yeah.
as a subsystem. So like
So we got our 5-minute warning. So
basic
our,
Yeah.
wand,
our
Yeah.
last questions
Yeah.
here. Let's see this.
higher
like
tier
this
of
death
that
note.
and so
In
on.
PvP, are we gonna get to collect people's ears like in the D2 days?
Ears.
Oh yeah, that would be fun, but yeah, we're not sure yet. But
Could happen.
yeah, of course, it's something that we'll have to discuss before. Yeah.
Ear
before we ship
stash.
it in, right? Yeah. So that was your last checkpoint. So you gotta run back all the way to your. Yeah.
I notice I'm bloody. That's a dynamic effect, right?
Yeah.
Is that
as
from me
you-
taking damage or from me killing enemies?
Oh, I think it's both, because blood splashes when you. Yeah, and then so we talked about like potential cool ideas of like, as you get more and more soaked in blood, maybe you get some cool.
Oh,
Yeah, right. It's like a
bloodied
legendary
effects.
item or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be cool.
Yeah. But this game is very bloody, and Barbarian I think is the best example of getting like blood all over.
It's quite
This-
bloody.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
glad.
Any potential to
stoked.
have UI customization? Like so, in WoW you can customize your UI, but in D3 you can't at all. Any
Oh.
thoughts there?
Yeah. Currently, we are leaning towards the fixed route, but yeah. With that said, though, it is still only the first announcement. We don't even know when the game's gonna ship, so anything I would say is possible. And I'm pretty sure our lead UI designer is watching too, or she'll watch at some point too. So yeah, her team can talk about it.
Any potential for raid-like encounters? I know that the open world
Hope
bosses
so.
are a little bit like that, but any like mega dungeons where you can bring your whole clan or something like that?
So we want to make sure that we stick true to that Diablo experience, and I think one of the main distinguishing factors of Diablo is that you can play the game solo no matter what stage you're at, right? So we want to make sure that all rewards and all powerful items that you're gaining are not gated by multiplayer content. But with that said, of course, like because we have things like the world boss, I can kind of easily imagine what if there was a more difficult version of it where you do have to go in and play with an arranged party or something like that, right? So it's also something that we're discussing. Yeah, and we'd love to hear your thoughts as well, right?
All right. Any final comments? Anything else you'd like to share?
Oh, I probably missed a lot of the stuff. So if people check out the systems panel tomorrow, it's not going to be as in-depth. So I recommend, like, if your viewers are interested, check out all the details of every single skill on every single class, every single talent, all this stuff, right? But the systems panel will be a good kind of high-level overview of everything that we're currently doing. So that would be good to check out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
David Kim, lead system designer on D4. And so that's about our time. So we're going to thank everyone for watching. Stay tuned for videos. I'm going to probably put this up on YouTube as well at some point, but I'm going to try to get a video up within the next hour or so on my initial thoughts on D4. There's going to be more panels tomorrow. We're going to cover those. More YouTube content and coverage coming. We might even do a stream tomorrow night just from the hotel room if we can get good enough internet to just talk about everything. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Excellent answers.
Yeah.
Tons of useful, wonderful info.
Yeah, and if there's
So
anything
psyched.
that people don't like, please let us know, because we do have a long ways to go, right?
What's
Yeah.
the best way to get information to you guys?
Oh, I think you have your contacts at Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be the best. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
And
Interesting.
we'll see you next time, folks. Bye.
Okay. We could watch the Quinn one.
So wait, I have literally 1,000 questions, and I think we have very limited time.
I think we have just under 30 minutes.
Just under 30 minutes?
30
Oh my
minutes.
god. Okay, so first of all, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Joe Shelley.
Joe Shelley,
I'm a lead game designer
lead game designer.
on Diablo 4.
Oh my god. Okay, let's just So, the question is, Paragon levels. Are there going to be Paragon levels?
We're looking at the same kind of philosophy that applied to Diablo 3 in terms of when you log in, and maybe you play for 30 minutes, maybe you play
If this isn't, I don't know what it is.
for an hour, maybe 15 minutes, and having that mean something, like when you log out, making some kind of progress. That philosophy that underpins Paragon levels in Diablo 3 continues to be important to us, but in terms of the exact method by which that statement will be true, we still have work to do. We're not going to do exactly the same thing we did in Diablo 3, but we're going to do something that fulfills that same goal.
So wait, you're the lead game designer on D4.
There are 2 lead game designers.
There's 2. Oh, okay. So you have like a lot of control over what happens.
My responsibility is to handle combat, systems, counters, dungeons.
And you said you like the way that Paragon levels worked in Diablo 3 in terms of like keeping people playing, but you don't think it's not going to be exactly the same or anything.
Right.
So
No.
on that question, in
Should not be.
game, like, what is it, and why would you keep playing it? Like in terms of what like
good question.
you just like obviously in D3 it's just grinding.
Yeah.
Just Greater forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, we have a lot of endgame to build.
Yeah, you do.
We want when you reach endgame for you to participate in a variety of different activities. So the World Boss Shava is one activity that you might.
I haven't done it yet, but
yeah, it's available in the demo. It's the first time.
See, I don't know
we've been
how
able to
world
play,
bosses are really that
bring
easy.
many people together to take down a single monster, a single boss, and it's so big that we have to pull the camera out a little bit to do it.
on the world. Oh my god. Okay, so world bosses.
Well, let me say that. So we want to have a variety of activities. The world boss is one activity. Key dungeons are going to be an activity. Key dungeons are inspired by Greater Rift.
So you're saying like
And it
key
will
dungeons
be-
is like so you're saying GRs. when you say key dungeon?
They're inspired by Greater Rifts, but it's a different system. And there will be
It's the same,
additional
but it's
activities
different.
beyond that we haven't announced.
These key dungeons,
Yes.
are they going to be infinitely
It
scaling?
is, but it isn't.
They will scale, I don't know if they'll infinitely scale, but they'll scale to an extent that there's no
So kinda like-
concern about reaching the maximum. Yeah.
Oh, what? Okay.
So the way that this works is we have, in the world, there are hundreds of dungeons, and you can experience them at different levels, leveling up and so forth. At max level, you can get a key, and that key will be for a specific dungeon. So let's say Garenhold from the demo.
Okay.
Which I believe those are
The
tradable.
key, when used, transforms Garenhold for you and your party, if you choose to go in with a party, into a max level dungeon. And it has a rank on it,
Oh.
somewhat similar to Greater Rifts, and that rank can increase and increases the difficulty of the dungeon.
Okay. So what max level? What's
the
max level?
The max level, we don't know for sure yet.
Question mark.
It's 40 right now.
40 right
It could
now.
change. We have a long way to go.
Okay.
On top of that, the key has affixes on it.
Oh,
And
so
it's
it's
like
Mythic
PoE.
Plus. It's really similar to Mythic Plus in a lot of ways.
Affixes add mechanics to the dungeon, can add mechanics to the boss fights, so it really changes how the dungeon plays.
Oh, wow. And in terms of mechanics, is it going to be like something that will really change it, or is it going to be like increase life by like 10%?
No,
or
it's
like,
significant. If you
like gameplay
check out
mechanics.
the systems and features panel tomorrow, the lead dungeon designer, Zavin, is going to talk a little bit more about that. One of the affixes, to give
If
you an
they just
example,
skimmed it.
is this lightning pulse. It's like a obelisk of rock and lightning magic, and it follows you through the dungeon. You can't kill it, you can't stop it, and it
I
releases
remember that.
periodic lightning pulses.
God,
You
no.
keep moving. You have to play.
Will it kill you? Is it like a time? Is it like a sort of?
It's not a wall of death. It's an object that
Oh.
chases you through the dungeon.
Okay.
And it releases pulses that do a wide area of damage.
So in terms of affixes, is there going to be positive affixes?
There may be, yeah. We're really trying to experiment with all kinds of different ways to change the way that the dungeon plays and make it replayable in really different ways. So there may be.
Speaking of positive and negative affixes, on when it comes to itemization, is it going to be like kiss with curse items in terms of like, are you going to have like a legendary which has some bad thing attached to it, but then it gives you some really good thing?
I don't know.
So I really like those
And
items.
so that's like
Kiss curse items are
Andarians,
really
where
hard to
you take
design
additional area damage and use your equipment.
There tends to be a right answer, or there tends to be a case where you can get really badly screwed over
Yeah.
by them. But maybe right now, the legendaries that we have that we're ready to talk about are
Okay.
things that modify existing skills. So, for example, your sorceress has a teleport,
Yeah.
and then you can get a legendary that, say, removes the cooldown on teleport. You get another legendary that, say, allows it to do a Nova area when you teleport. So you can combine those to change the way teleport works.
I see.
But there are also legendaries that are equipable by a variety of classes and do other things like summon hydras.
So far, I haven't seen anything like this, but I'm kind of worried. In Diablo 3, there's a lot of items, for example, that have multipliers on them, which, like, if you're going to use one skill, then you're forced into basically using, like, every single multiplier item for that said skill. Is it going to be multipliers on items?
No, we already know
Certainly,
that.
legendary items make the item more powerful, but what you're probably asking about is in D3, you'd see an item that would say, 3,000% damage to something.
Or 10,000.
Yeah, so we're not going in that direction.
Yeah.
The legendary items, the idea of the legendary items is that you can further modify your skills beyond that which is allowed through the skill system, through the talent system, to really
be
customize
weird.
your playstyle.
Okay.
And we're building hundreds of legendaries.
Hundreds?
So yeah.
So,
100.
there's lots of legendaries in Diablo 3, but you basically you're
most
just
of
put a
them are
6
shit.
there, and then you have like 2 or 3 slots to use. It's like, okay, which rank do I want to use? Or like,
Like,
I have to use this
all
helmet because
these
that's a multiplier on it.
lists.
There's very limited choice. Are you doing that
Nothing.
same thing where it's like, in D3 it's like the illusion of choice? What's the point? Just go with sets all the way? Like, because I heard there are sets, which
There
kind
are
of scares.
sets.
It scares me because I hate sets.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So one of the things so there are a couple of places where sets are really cool. One is the set look gives the ability to really live out some kind of fantasy, and there's some really, really cool set looks, right? the other thing is that when you initially reach max level and you want to sort of get into something and like get a sense of like, all right, what do I want to do? Let me get some build together that can be effective.
So for new players.
Yeah, and so in Diablo 4, legendaries are as or more powerful than set items.
So would you say
you will graduate out of it?
Will there ever be a
And
point
graduate
where
out
a
of them,
set would be
which
the
is
most meta
amazing.
thing, where like you would have like sets like, so you're saying that you'd start off with it and then you'd switch them out with legendaries.
Yeah.
So you basically sets are just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And then they'll be phased out. Well, not phased out, but like almost phased out.
Anyway, he talks a lot about the same things. I'm gonna call it for now. I'm gonna send you over to someone. Yeah, if you liked what you were watching, definitely follow. Let's see who's online. You know what? In the spirit of D2, let's poke in on Mr. Llama SC.
Yes! D4, yay or nay?
Yes, thank you for the follow.
Yay, they're making D4. Like,
hooray. Hold on.
How cool is that?
Back to my channel.
Right?
Don't forget.
Here.
Yes! D4, yay or nay?
Yes, thank you for the follow.
Yay, they're making D4. Like, hooray.
Hold on.
How cool is that?
Back to my channel.
Right?
Don't forget.
Here.
Yay, they're making D4. Like, hooray.
Hold on.
How cool is that?
Back to my channel.
Right?
Don't forget.
Here.
Yay, they're making